A woman was using the restroom when an invisible force suddenly surged up from the toilet, grabbing her lower body with terrifying strength. She tried to leap up and run toward the door, but in an instant she was yanked backward. The mysterious force only grew stronger. She clung desperately to the sink faucet, struggling with all her might, but in the end, she was violently dragged down into the drain. Meanwhile, chaos erupted in the cruise ship's main hall. The vessel's engine had completely failed, and its propellers were shattered by an unknown creature. Panic spread like wildfire as passengers screamed and ran for their lives. But it didn't take long before the entire cruise ship fell into total silence. At that same moment, somewhere on the same ocean, a small speedboat was cutting through the waves. In the cockpit, Captain John was stealing a moment of peace, casually playing solitaire on the radar monitor. John was a seasoned captain, familiar with these waters. This time, he had taken on a high-paying job, ferrying a group of mercenaries to an uncharted island. Although they claimed they were delivering cargo, John could tell right away these men were trouble. Still, he knew the rules of survival. The more you know, the quicker you die. So he kept his mouth shut and asked no questions. The boat's mechanic, however, wasn't so cautious. Curiosity got the better of him, and he secretly inspected the mercenaries' cargo. To his horror, he discovered crates full of weapons, even torpedoes. Once the secret was out, the mercenary captain dropped the act. The mood on board turned tense in an instant. Luckily, John was quick-witted and swore to stay out of their business, leading his crew onward without incident. But the mercenaries weren't taking chances. They suited up in tactical gear and armed themselves with pulse rifles capable of firing 1,000 rounds. Taking advantage of a moment of calm, they quickly overpowered John and his crew, seizing control of the vessel. Then the mercenary leader revealed their true objective. They were planning to hijack a luxury cruise ship. Before long, they spotted the cruise liner in the distance. Just as they approached, however, their boat was struck by something unseen, and the engine caught fire. Riding the last of their momentum, they barely managed to reach the cruise ship. The leader ordered John to come aboard with them, leaving 2 men behind to repair the small boat. Using grappling hooks, they climbed up onto the deck with ease. But what they found was far from what they expected. They searched every room, every hallway, yet the entire ship was eerily empty. Not a single soul in sight. It was as if they had stepped onto a ghost ship.